It's a new year, which means new intentions, fresh planners, and resolutions we may or may not stick to. And at least 3 versions of ourselves living rent-free in our heads.
For sure. This week on Book Bits and Chill, we're talking reinvention, the new year, new me pressure, the goals that actually stick, and how books quietly sneak into the way we find ourselves again. So if you're ready for a year of becoming your favorite version of yourself, stick around because this episode is for you.
All right, it's rebrand season, baby.
Oh, yeah. You know, I feel like there's 2 paths people take with a new year, new resolution, and it's either like utter chaos or something that's like very intentional and doable. And for me, I was utter chaos for many years of my life.
Were you?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I didn't know this.
Oh yeah, resolutions used to stress me out. Like I would be a person that was like, resolutions are not for me. Like I'm not a resolution person because I would be that person that was like, I have to change every habit in my life. Like that's what a resolution is about.
Yeah.
And I knocked it off and now I love New Year's.
I think I've always been the opposite in that I think I'm addicted to goal setting, honestly. Like I do this at work, I do this in my personal life, I do this with everything, that I just love something to work towards. I love a clear, tangible thing that I am actively building towards. And so for me, resolutions have always been really great and not stressful. I think my problem is that I go too big. It's like I am just setting these goals where I'm like, yeah, I could totally do this by the end of the year. And then December hits and I'm like, what the fuck was in your brain?
That's kind of what I'm talking about, like the chaos of it. I feel like we always make these like huge goals that are like slightly unattainable for the realistic person.
Sure. But I actually don't think that that's bad. And maybe this is toxic of me, whatever. But I think that having something unattainable to work towards, and if you don't hit it, doesn't mean that it's a failure. Like if you still worked towards it and you still did the things to get yourself to that point, and again, even if it wasn't like the defined point, you still got further than you would have otherwise. So I don't know. I'm kind of into it.
She is a Sagittarius, obviously.
Go big or go home. Okay. Michael Jordan didn't become who he is by setting realistic goals. Okay.
But I am the type of person that actually needs to like attain the goal or I'll just be like thrown completely off. So a couple of years ago, like decided I'm going to make really small goals. And then when I reached them and I did them for the entire year, I was so proud of myself.
Yeah, I mean, that's exciting too. Can't you have a combination of big goals and small goals?
Yeah,
like, that feels like a nice balance of like, okay, I'm going to set these smaller goals that I know I'm going to hit. Like I know for a fact they're going to like give me the dopamine hit, but then I also have this like big scary goal that like may or may not be achieved, but I'm still going to go for it.
Well, this is a good conversation. So let's talk about our past resolutions and the small goals and the big goals and see if that plays out.
Okay. All right.
So
tell me your small goals.
Yeah, my small goal that I literally use for every example I tell people is 1 year. I said I am going to do all of my returns. Like I get a package in the mail and even if the thing is worth $5, like I'm still going to return it because I am sure that I lost thousands of dollars 1 year not doing returns in time.
Yep. I feel this so deeply.
Yeah, and I did that like 3 years ago and I still do it to this day. Like I never lost it.
Winner.
How good do I feel?
Not unattainable. Do you feel like a different person? No.
I literally do. Like, I feel like if somebody from the Forbes top 50 list tried to challenge me, I'd be like, but did you meet your New Year's resolution?
Okay, so I set a big goal for myself for reading, actually, for this year. Because I have never read more than 50 books in a year, like never. Like that has always sounded very outside of the realm of my possibilities. And so this year I was like, I'm going to read 60 books. I'm going to set that goal and I probably won't hit it, but if I get even close, it's still probably going to be more than I've ever read before.
Right.
And I hit it.
Woo, baby.
I know.
What was the actual number?
60.
You hit it right on. Were you in December, like you were saying, and you weren't close to 60 and you were like, I got to power through?
Well, here's my challenge with this, and I'm interested in what people think because do rereads count towards your goal?
If you are taking the time to read the written word on paper and it's taking up like a week of your life, 100%.
Oh, then I read over 60 books.
Yeah, 100% that counts. Like, I feel like it's about the time you're spending.
Yeah, that's fair. I like that. Okay, then
Yeah.
I read 65 books.
Wow. Because ACOTAR.
Yeah,
I love that. So
I
you went
know.
above and beyond your goal. So how does
Yep.
it feel?
Amazing. Amazing.
See,
Incredible.
I'm not a big goal setter, as we've discussed. So my reading goal that I actually hit was just to read outside of like my comfort genres. Like I
Yeah,
read so much romantasy in 2024. Like I'm not sure I read anything that wasn't romantasy in
correct.
2024. And this year I stretched to literally just even read one book out of my genre. And did I not like get addicted to reading outside of romantasy?
You did. You like kind of hated Romantasy for a little bit there.
Yeah, I have the romantasy ick, one might say.
You did. I feel like I had the opposite year where I read like too much Romantasy maybe. And I think I'm at the point where I'm like a little burnt out on it.
Yeah.
But you were the opposite. And I was really proud of you.
Yeah.
Because normally I feel like I would send you books that I was reading or things that I was interested in. And you would be like, nope,
Yeah.
escapism.
Right. I'd be like,
Put me
cool.
into a magical realm with a hot ass Fey man. And that's it.
And then I was be so jealous about like all of these like great perspective switches you were having. And I'm like, why am I not having them? And I don't know. Maybe I need to read about something other than dragons.
Here she is. Here she is.
But
That is impressive.
I will say that goal also did kind of take a dark turn into like a fail.
What do you mean?
Because I had the romantasy ick a little bit. I was like DNFing books left and right. Like I think I had this like background resolution last year that DNFing was okay. Like don't waste your time. Like your time is precious. Spend it on what you love. And I was like DNFing books like after like 7 chapters.
That is wild.
I DNF'd Shield of Sparrows.
You
And
did. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I DNF'd, like, I don't even think I attempted to get past the first sentence of like Silver Elite or Direbound.
Yeah.
Like all of these books that I just like convinced myself I was gonna DNF, so I didn't even start. And now the sequels, the sequels of them are coming out, and I'm like, why did I not read those?
Okay, well, first of all, Direbound, you should actually read.
I know.
Silver Elite, don't read. Shield of Sparrows, you should absolutely push through. I told you that when I was reading it.
But I was so serious about my DNF resolution.
You know what? This is where my boomer energy really comes through because I'm like, all of us in our boundaries, our aggressive boundaries.
I agree with you.
We're taking them too far. It's like
Yeah.
sometimes a book, I think in particular with Romantasy, and this is where I think I've burnt myself out because there's so many of these books that like have latched on to how addicted us readers are to be like hooked from the first page and like to have action in chapter 1. And I think it's kind of bullshit. Like if you read these, higher fantasy books, all of that, like it takes half a book to get into the action most of the time because there's so much
100%.
world building and there's character development and there's all the things. And so I feel like in 2026, I'm trying to really make sure that I'm like identifying that more and I'm more patient about that.
I
Because I
love
do
that.
think that has burnt me a few times and I think it's burnt you a lot too.
100%. Like now I have so many books to read before these sequels come out, and they weren't on my TBR before. And do you think it's because of our attention spans? Like, do you think that we're so addicted to 30-second TikToks that we need like
I don't
the
know.
action right away in a book?
I don't know. I really think that there can be too much romantasy, honestly. Like, I think that is the problem. Because
Yeah.
I think that we, at this point in the genre, like, there's just so much out there and there's so much going on, which is amazing. And there's a lot of really unique stories. There's a lot of really unique characters. But at the same time, I think that there is this clear line, again, between these books that are like, we are these book talk books and we need to like give these people their hits immediately versus
Yeah.
like, no, I actually want to do a very good, thorough job of like setting up this world, setting the stage for the entire series, all of that in book one. And I think it's just like we need to level set on our expectations, all of us, me
Yeah.
included.
This is a great forum to do that. That a fresh new year. We need to reset our expectations for authors, for plots, for speed,
Right.
everything.
Everything. I totally agree. So, yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. That's my perspective. I don't know if that's right. It could be our attention spans. I think our brains are shriveling to the size of beans at this point. So, who knows?
Which, speaking of, like, a book that is going to stretch your brain, a book that is going to, like, push your mindset, I think would be really good for our bean brains in 2026.
Oh, I totally agree. I feel
Do you
like starting out the year with something like that is the best way to set the
I was
tone.
just gonna say that. I was like, "Do you feel like we need to front load that book?"
Do we need to read it right now?
Yeah, I think so, and it kind of, like, sets
Maybe.
your whole intention for the year. So, like,
Maybe. Yeah.
what are our 2026 resolutions, and what is gonna be the book that gets us to them? So, I've really been thinking about mine for 365 days.
Correct.
And one that I thought of way early in 2025, and I repeated this throughout the whole year, but never did anything about it, was I need to track what I read on like a Goodreads or Fable or whatever I should track on because I didn't do that last year and it gets so chaotic.
But you've never done that. And have you thought about why you've never done it? Like, I think that's another part of this exercise is like, yeah, you've been like thinking about the things that
Yeah.
you did not do in the last year for the last year. But have you actually thought about like why and like why it's so challenging?
I think it was the same mindset where I was like, reading is escapism. I don't want it to be another to do where I need to like
Mm,
track my books and mark I read something. Like, this should be free flowing. I'm throwing the book to the side table, grabbing another one, like I
yeah.
wanted it to be like this really like organic thing. And I felt like it took that away. But now
Yeah.
that I've kind of broken that brain without by getting into like different genres, I think I'm ready to take the next step.
I get that though. I feel that way with like the health trackers, for example. Like
Mm.
that's why I love the Aura Ring because I can't see anything on it. Like I don't know what's going on.
Oh
Versus
my
like I
God.
had to get rid of my Apple Watch for that reason because it was just constant like here's what you're doing and here's your progress and here's blah, 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 blah. And I was like this is going to break my brain.
People say that closing the rings on an Apple Watch, which I feel like fitness is a lot of people's like resolutions, is
Yeah.
actually incredibly toxic.
I feel like it is, but it's also the best high that you will ever get. Literally.
Which I think that's part of the toxic.
It is. It 100% is. I am not denying that, but it is also incredible. It feels amazing. You're like, oh my God, I just closed 3 rings before 4 p.m. Look at me.
Okay, so what do you think about continuing like on or building on goals you had from last year? Like, so for
Mm,
example, this year I started rereading and I had not been a rereader before and
yeah.
I like really loved it. And so I would love to like reread another series this year. So I think that's like, is that count as a resolution or is that just like continuing on?
I think it does. Like
Okay.
if that's something that brings you happiness and joy, I don't see why not.
Yeah.
It could be I mean, to me, a resolution is, like, a very clear goal of, like, okay, you really enjoyed rereading this year, like, do you wanna reread one series that you loved 2 years ago? Or do you
Right.
wanna reread one book? Like, what does that look like? And I feel like that could be a great resolution.
I did learn on my reread journey that I think that there has to be, like, a certain time frame that's passed since I read the books, like, it has to be,
Yeah,
like, 5 years, so there's no shot you remember all the details. If it's
right.
been, like, 6 months and you already remember all of the details, I don't think that sounds fun, so I'm
Yeah.
excited to go back to a series, like, maybe, like, Throne of Glass or something that I have not read in
Mm.
6 years and, like, kind of, like, fall in love with that world again.
Yeah, I actually was thinking that about The Hunger Games recently because
That would be a
I
good
literally
one.
have not read those books since high school. And that's become such a big thing online, obviously. Like we see a lot of these book influencers that are going either reading for the first time or rereading again since childhood. And I love watching it. Like it's just one of those things where I'm like, oh my God, like she met PETA for the first time, or like she's
Yeah.
still in love with Gail and she doesn't know he's gonna turn into an asshole. Like it's just so fun. And so I'm like, oh, I could actually just experience that myself through a reread.
Oh, the Hunger Games would be such a good one leading up to Sunrise on the Reaping
I
coming out.
know. I know.
Yeah.
I was thinking that too. And I am
Okay.
so into Haymitch. So like I feel like I'm just gonna be really down with this entire progression.
Yeah, I might have to join you on that. So, are
Mm.
you going to up your ante on the number of books you read this year?
Yeah. I'm going for
Ah!
100, baby.
Whoa! How many books a month is that? Quick math. Quick public math.
You don't force me into public math.
It would be less than 10 a month.
Yeah, you're right. It would.
Which I think I don't know, that sounds like a lot of books, but you could
For
do
anyone
it.
listening, I hate public math. And if you don't know what public math is, it could be when you're tipping on a bill
Yeah.
in front of your friends at dinner. I hate that.
Yeah.
I
And
despise it.
it's like that trend on TikTok where the like wife is getting her calculator out to do like 12 minus 8.
Yeah, like that's me. I'm like, my brain just short circuits and like everything that I've learned about math up until now just like leaves my brain entirely.
So you're going to read around 8 books a month? You think you can
Yeah.
do it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, big goals.
100%.
I love that for you.
I think that I realized this year just being in this space that we're in that there are so many books that I want to read. And it's like I knew that before, but when you're doing your own research and you're just kind of passively looking, like at least for me, it was like, oh, I could read this book or I could, but then you get into the like book talk space and you see people like crying, screaming, laughing, whatever over these books. And I'm like, oh my God, I want to feel that.
Yeah, it's like
I want
FOMO.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like I can do it. I can read 100 books in a year. I really think that.
Wowie Maui. I think if I
Mhm.
read 50, I'll be proud of myself.
I think that's great.
Yeah, me too. That sounds like a lot of freaking books.
It does. It does.
Okay.
Okay, well, since I don't have resolutions quite yet, I can't really talk about that. But I do think an exercise that I do every year that I really enjoy that we should do is pick a word for the year.
Oh, I love this.
This year, my word was intention.
Okay.
And that really just surfaced around like being super intentional, obviously, about like how I'm spending my time, who I'm spending it with, how I'm going about the world, how I'm showing up, all of that stuff. And it was really nice.
Yeah, I love that. I didn't have a word for 2025 and it felt really chaotic. And so I'm ready for a word in 2026.
She needs a word.
Yeah, I need to ground myself, which is actually one of my like personal intentions. It's not really like a goal, it's more like an intention. It's like, I want to be less stressed this year. Like, I want to sit down and be like, that doesn't really matter. And actually let it roll off my back and not just say that it doesn't matter, but I'm still thinking about it in my sleep.
Yeah, you are very much a like fake it till you make it stressed out person.
Yeah, 100%. Until I make it, until I don't make it, I'm in a deep hole and I have to be dug out. Let's be realistic. And so I think like some things that I'm trying to bring into my life that will help with that is like meditating, breath work. Like those are like easy things to grab onto. But I also just want to feel like really youthful this year. And I think that's my word is maybe youthful.
I like that.
I just want to like love life again and feel energized. I felt too old this year. Like I was like bogged down by my career. I was bogged down by like making sure I hit these life goals that everybody else around me is hitting. And I don't like that feeling. It feels icky. I want to shed that skin.
Shut it, baby. I could not support that more. I like youthful as your word.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff that could come along with that that's like silly, playful, to your point. Like you're looking at the world in a more positive, pure light, openness. Like there's just so much optimism. Everyone here knows that I am toxically optimistic and Emily has to bring me down a
Yeah.
peg. I think that my word is kind of similar along the lines of what you're saying. I have never felt too old because I believe that I am always frozen in time at 24. But I do feel like I've been too serious of a 24-year-old. And I don't want that anymore. And I think my word is going to be whimsy for that reason.
Oh, I love that.
I just want more playfulness, more
Yeah.
just lightness, more exactly what you're saying. Just like I already am toxically optimistic, but like optimism in a way that like truly is just so pure from the heart and it's just so unfiltered. And I am really excited to lean into that.
You know what that makes me think of? Last year, and this is actually like kind of where the BBC was like fully born and took off. Cassie and I went to the Rebecca Yaros like what would you call that? Book tour,
Book
I
tour.
guess. Yeah, book
Yeah.
tour. And before the book tour, we went to like a high tea. And were we not having the time of our lives?
Yes. Literally. We were like cosplaying that we were in Bridgerton, basically.
Yes. And that's what I think of when I think of whimsy is like doing more things like that. Like getting out
Yeah.
of your like normal, like black and white life and like putting color to it.
Adding color. I
Yeah.
have been in a neutral space for too long and I need some color. I am also a massive fan of Dua Lipa. And if anyone here
Oh,
has
yeah.
followed her on any sort of social media, she posts these like photo dumps and the life that she lives, like I need to be that.
I
I
saw
need a Dua Lipa year.
I saw an interview with Dua Lipa and she said, everybody always asks me how I'm on so many vacations. And she said, I'm not on vacation. I'm just romanticizing my everyday life.
I think she literally was just like, I make anywhere that I go feel like a vacation. She
Yeah.
was like, I love to explore if I'm in a new place. Like, I love to try new food. I love to spend time with the people around me. Like, all of these things where I think she just immerses herself
Yeah.
fully. And that's what I need.
And I don't
Maybe immersive is my word.
immerse yourself into your life. And like, it doesn't even have to be this big thing. You don't have to jet off to Costa Rica and go to
No.
the jungle. Like, there is places I guarantee in all of our cities that are maybe like a 40-minute drive away that we like have been avoiding driving to that we could find new places to love.
Yes, I totally agree. So
Yeah.
I think we have some good words. I think I just changed mine from whimsy to immersive.
Immersive. Immersive reading. Immersive life.
Immersive reading. Which, speaking of reading,
Yeah.
would love to talk about some books that, or I
Mm.
guess books that we could recommend to the audience and to each other that
Yeah.
will help with a lot of this work, with a lot of this reflection, with this manifestation energy.
This actually kind of goes back to what I said at the beginning where we need to like kick off the year with a heavy hitter.
Yeah. I have
Okay.
a lot of thoughts on what some heavy hitters could be, honestly.
So I do feel like a good one to kick off with is like a motivating read.
Yeah.
And a book that I have been wanting to read forever. And why do I keep putting it off? It's been on my Libby for years. The Alchemist. I don't know how to
Mm.
say this person's name. Paulo Coelho.
I have never known how to say it, but I
Yeah.
read that book in high school and it's one of my favorites. I think it's literally right above my head.
Oh, really? And
Yeah.
that's like, do you think it's like a good like mindset shifter?
Yes. Yes. 1000%.
And then the other one that you literally talked about all of 2025, like Tuesdays with Maury, I felt was like a same, but different.
Yes, absolutely. It's just like coming from a real person's mouth, essentially.
Yeah.
Which I think that memoirs are so powerful for motivation for that reason, because you are, it's not fiction. Like you are seeing a real person either live a life or talk about a life or whatever that is probably either filled with strife or filled with bigger things that they could have even imagined. And it's just incredible to sit in a seat at like with that person and hear their story and be like, oh shit,
Yeah.
we
And-
are capable of so much as human beings.
Right. It's like more tangible because they're a human. It's like that person did it, so can you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm a huge memoir fan for that reason. Which I feel like is always the motivating read for me. But my motivating read is actually not a memoir, shockingly. It's called Theo of Golden. And it's
Huh?
about this old man who's, like, in his 80s, and he goes to, I think, a coffee shop, and there are a bunch of portraits on the wall. There's, like, 20-something portraits, and he essentially, like, embarks on this journey to return all of the portraits, like, to the people.
What?
And he, like, asks them about their lives and learns about it and all of that stuff, and it's basically this story about generosity, the importance of bringing wonder to your life, and, like, the possibilities that can come out of having some, like, anonymous kindness brought into the world.
I
So,
have never heard of this book.
I've wanted to read this book for so long.
That sounds like an amazing read, actually.
I agree. So, yeah, I think that'll be my motivating read that I kick off the year with.
One that we kind of mentioned that kind of falls into a category that I think is very relevant right now in the world we're living is kind of like perspective shifting. Like, I feel
Mm,
like we all need to lock in a little bit on what's going on in the world and
yeah,
like putting ourselves in others' shoes and understanding different
yeah.
walks of life. And I have been wanting to read Sunrise on the Reaping, which we talked about, a Hunger Games reread. People are saying it's so relevant to what's going on in the world.
I totally believe that, and I also would like to read that book, so
Yeah.
sounds
What
like
we're
we're
gonna
doing
make
it.
it sounds like we're doing a Hunger Games reread to lead us up to Sunrise on the Reaping.
Correct. I totally agree with that, and I think a big way that I tend to shift my perspective on things is by reading about history and, like, things that have happened before and learning from that,
Yeah.
and I would really like to finally read James. That's been on my TBR for forever,
What is that
and
about? Is that the one it's like a yellow big J on a black
yeah,
book? Yeah, what is that
yeah.
about?
It's a Huckleberry Finn retelling, basically, but
Mm.
from Jim's POV. And
I
another book is called A Fever in the Heartland, and this is about when the KKK was rising in power in the 20s and actually in Indiana, which is where Emily and I are from. And it's about a woman who helped stop them with like
Oh.
basically coming forward with like a testimonial or like a story about like how they were actually oppressing people, how they were showing up, all of that stuff.
I do love those stories of triumph, like when like
Yes.
an unsuspecting party like shows up for a underrepresented community.
Yeah, yeah. So those are my books that I'm very intrigued by.
Wha-
But also, I do think as we're getting motivated and we're shifting our perspective, we do need to be comforted at the same time. Like there needs to be some balance.
Yeah, 100%. We can't just like literally break our brains.
Yeah, like we need some padding.
So
So what
what's
would
a
you say?
comfort? Yeah, like was it a comfort read, like a new book or a reread for you?
I think it used to be a reread, but now that I've read so much contemporary romance, I think that I really feel just so comforted by that genre. And could
Oh,
maybe read like any book that is a contemporary romance and just feel like very calm afterwards.
yeah. This last year you did I feel like you found this space where you like certain authors and you would like
Yeah.
read anything those authors wrote, which is kind of
Yeah.
like a comfort in a
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, like BK Borison, her second book in the First Time Caller series, I'm not sure what it's called, but it's coming out in February and I'm so excited.
Okay, I didn't ever really read many of those books, but last year I read Emily Henry and Allie Hazelwood and I
Yeah.
loved it.
Yeah.
So why stop now?
Keep it going. Carly, we're coming for you.
I will say my comfort read I think I'm gonna get back into, which is like an absolute chaotic enigma to what I said earlier, is that I am gonna get back into Romantasy.
Completely contrary to everything she said for the last 20 minutes.
Because I am telling you, I am having the biggest FOMO about all these sequels coming out, and
Yeah.
I just like I had my year where I took a breath from it, and I
Yeah.
think I'm like ready to get back.
Yeah, that's fair. That's totally
Yeah,
fair.
it adds the youthful energy, all the magic and like the
You're right.
fairies.
You're right. That'll give you some whimsy. The fairies.
Yeah.
Well, I think we should end with some final big goals for ourselves because I need at least one.
Yeah, we like can't would be remiss to not in this episode talking about how we didn't set out with this goal last year, but we absolutely reached our goal of starting the BBC and taking it
Yeah.
through 2025.
Yes.
And I'm excited to just like stretch ourselves in 2026 and I think that I want to bring some fresh energy. I want it to feel
Mm,
like a community. I want people to feel included.
mm.
And I'm just like really excited to have some fun with everybody.
Yeah, she's excited to be youthful.
Yeah.
Bring some youth energy. No, I love that. I think a really good goal for us could be to like foster a real community in this space. Like,
Yeah.
I think that we both have a very strong will and passion to bring people together. And I feel like we should lean into that. And I think that we should actually carve out a space for people who are either like us or want to join in or whatever to be
Yeah.
able to like actually come together because I've just realized that this breeding community is some of the best people on the planet. Like they've
Yeah.
restored my faith in humanity. I also am excited to bring, we were talking about like diversity of genre, but I also would like to bring more diversity in the types of authors that we are reading and the
Yes.
types of stories that we're reading. And I think that having more representation from like BIPOC authors or either like it could be characters that are BIPOC. Like I think that that would be amazing because I've realized too on my romantasy journey, I'm like, there's just so few characters that I see myself in. And
Yeah.
like that's fucking crazy. But I
Right.
know that they're out there and I'm just not seeing them. So like I want to find them.
Yep.
And I feel the same way about queer stories and queer authors and like bringing those forward. So
Right. Like heated rivalry, like opened our eyes to what we've been missing. And I know they're out there, like you said. So we need to find that.
yes.
Cassie and I are Latinx, and so I'm kidding. Cassie is, and I am like desperate to be part of her family and
She
community.
is
So
my
that's
proxy.
exciting. So like we need to find a story. Like we should literally read that during Latin Heritage Month.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I would love to find an FMC that looks identical to me so that I can like actually picture myself with these like big brawny men.
Dare I say, write your own story, Cassie.
Dear God.
Maybe leave that for 2027. We got some goals to hit already.
Exactly. I think we're good.
But I feel so energized from this conversation and like so empowered. And I would love to know what our listeners' intentions are, like what book
Yeah.
goals they're setting. So
Yeah.
please write in the comments and we would love to help you get there.
Yeah. Send them to us and I can help you workshop it over a week.
Yeah.
Not
And I
in
can
20
help you
minutes.
learn from your mistakes you made last year.
Emily can help you break them down into small attainable goals.
We should do
Oh, you're
separate
right.
workshops for the separate types of people.
Well, speaking of 2026 plans, we are starting to evolve the podcast a little bit. You know, baby's growing up. We're
Yep.
not so youthful that we are not figuring our shit out. So, we are going to kick off monthly themes that we will anchor our episodes in. We'll be reading along with the theme. We'll be talking about TV shows that we might be watching, movies that might be relevant to the theme. All of the things. And that for January, our theme
Yeah.
is
Year, new me, new intentions, new energy.
big 2026 energy.
Yeah.
is the January theme.
Yeah.
So we'll be talking about anything from existential crises that we're having to maybe we'll deep dive more on books that are motivating to us or are helping us set the stage for the year, or we'll talk about releases that are coming out for the year that we're really excited about since Emily needs to read so many second books
Yeah.
and a bunch of other things. But
I feel like just the vibe is just like setting ourselves up for a wonderful year.
that is right.
At the end of this, what you always need to remember is whatever version of yourself you start the year with, you end the year with, it's perfect for you. You are always in the right place and don't ever be too hard on yourself.
Wow. Love it. That's a great intention to set for the year.
Oh, yeah.
Can you put that on a mug for me?
Yes.
Please. But we will be talking about new releases next week, which we're very excited about. There's a lot going on, particularly in the Romantasy realm, but just in general, there's so much coming out this year that we're really excited about. So
Yeah,
we'll deep dive into that. We'll talk about maybe if they're second books in the series, if
if
Emily
it's
DNF'd
worth
them or
it.
not, if it's
Yeah.
worth it. All of that good stuff so we can help build our TBR all together. But
Yeah.
in the meantime, we'll see you back here, same time, same place. Bring your blankets, bring your book boyfriends, and we'll see you then.
See ya.